and welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Marietta.
And I'm Connie. And today we are here with Jess Serafini. So Jess, how do you deal when shit gets real? Or you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Jess. I grew up in Central Illinois. Pretty standard childhood. I had amazing parents. I have a brother. Went into nursing school. I've been a nurse for 12 years. Got married, got divorced, got married again. He was my rebound, and he's the best rebound I've ever had. I got
the longest rebound. You can use that one with him too, just be like, yeah, you're my rebound and the longest rebound ever.
He is my rebound, and he is an amazing rebound. I have 2 kids, one toddler, and 1 1-year-old.
That's why I'm not sure I want a second, is because I've heard that the second also can be a terrorist. Or are they all just terrorists? Oh,
yeah.
I love that all parents use that. I have several friends that use some form of like tiny terrorist or like mini terrorist. Like it's just
The one that I find I like it, and I also find it weird, is crotch goblin.
Yep.
I've
gremlin.
heard.
Yep.
Yes, I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, I like it. I don't know if I like it. Like I like it equally, but also like, oh, it's kind of weird.
I mean, it's the truth.
It is.
Yep.
It is the truth. So you became a nurse. How did you go from being a nurse to a flight nurse? Because I feel like that's not something that every nurse just is like, I'm going to get into a helicopter.
Yep. So my dad was a flight nurse. He did it for several years. So I was involved in that environment since I was 8 or 9 years old, probably. He actually snuck me out of high school when I was 16 to take me to a real cadaver lab. So
cool.
Wow.
True story. So kind of after that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into nursing. Actually, to be honest, I was pre-med. I was going to be a doctor, but I failed out of organic chemistry. And I said, screw it, I'm going to nursing school. So here we are. I started in the ICU. I did ICU for several years. I did the ER, hated it. You cannot be an ER nurse and be a people pleaser. Like I am at the core people pleaser. No, I would go home crying because some butthead yelled at me for doing nothing. I couldn't do it. So I went back to the ICU and hid for another year or so. Got in the military, did some military fun, and then finally got into the rotor wing sector in beginning of 2017.
Is it hard to become a flight nurse? Is it really? Because I just imagine it being very specialized, only if you can get in, that kind of thing. Or am I totally wrong?
It can be. It really depends on where you're from. So some places it's very competitive to get in there. Other places they really need good people. So
just
you
like
have
nursing.
to have,
in general.
Exactly. So you have to have the experience, you have to have the certifications. The company that I worked for had a pretty grueling testing process, both paper and oral testing you had to do before you could even get into the interview. Yeah, so it was good, but it's definitely a passion. I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps, but now that I have sat in the seat, I don't think I'll ever want to give it up.
Nice.
Even though I'm just doing it part-time now.
Yeah, I love that.
Are you the only nurse on these flights, or are they multiple? Is that maybe why they're so grueling with their testing? Because you're the nurse. That's it.
So we work with a paramedic partner, but we have the same scope of practice and we have the same level of responsibility. So we both need to know critical procedures. We both need to know medications. And it's because it's just us two. And we don't have a doctor giving us orders. We don't have someone we can call. We strictly operate off of 427-page protocol book, which we pretty much have memorized.
That's huge.
Yeah,
wow.
It is. And at first it is very daunting to think that for the first 6 years of your career, you went to a doctor and said, "Mother, may I?" And now you're given a pocket full of narcs and deadly medications and said, "Go forth and conquer." It can be
that is crazy.
That is crazy.
But now
those are two very different work environments.
Yeah. But 6 years later, it's just going to work now. It's just fun. It's a blast.
And you started off doing it in the military, correct?
Yes.
Military flight nurses and civilian flight nurses?
Yes. On the military side, I was fixed wing, so airplanes. So we did much more long haul missions, and the
Gotcha.
patients that we took care of weren't near as sick as the ones I fly now. So that was very different. They're also very protocol based. So it's the military, you know, they're very by the book, very black and white. That's not medicine. One of my favorite sayings is, if you're a black and white person and you're going into medicine, welcome to hell.
Yeah,
Because
really.
it's gray. It's all gray.
And there are so many different treatment options. I'm not even a nurse, and I know that there are multiple ways, because all you have to do is go to a doctor and multiple like different doctors, and they will all tell you different things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's awesome. I enjoy it. I'll never get out of it.
Was it ever,
Right.
see, like me just thinking about it gives me anxiety. Like just thinking about it. Were you ever at that level? Did it ever make you anxious? Or were you always like, let's go?
No, they say give it 2 years. I mean, I remember getting into the helicopter seat and my teeth chattering. I was just such an adrenaline rush. Sometimes for a good reason, like going on a massive scene to shut down the interstate. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, your cool card comes out of your pocket. Other times, if you're going for super sick kiddos, it's really nerve wracking because we fly everything. We do NICU, we do OB, peds, you name it, we do it.
Wow.
So there are times where it's a bad stress, and there are times where you're like, yeah, I got my stunner shades on, and we're gonna go do something cool.
Save the day.
Well, now I'm curious because Connie's brother actually 2 years ago today broke his neck diving into a lake, and he had to be life flighted out.
Well, technically he was never flighted out first. He was drove into a hospital, and then when the hospital said no, you need a helicopter ride, even it was so stupid, and they were still trying to get them. Yeah, even still, it was so ridiculous.
So when you get somebody that's like that is a severe spinal injury like that, what's one of the first things you do? Because now I'm like curious.
Tell them not to move.
Makes sense.
You strap them as much as you can, and you put a seat collar on, and if they're awake and talking, you can totally explain everything you're doing. It's hard because if they're awake and talking, they still want to look around because they're getting in a helicopter. A lot of them are going to nerd out.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, man, I know this is cool, but I need you to stay super still and don't move. Sometimes we'll even put our hands on there, just to manually stabilize in addition to everything else. But yeah.
And he was really lucky because he ended up, he's a fireman. So he was with a bunch of firemen paramedics. So they saved his life because he was with the right people at the right time who knew exactly what to do to save his life. Or else my brother would have been gone. If he would have been with any other like regular friends, because it was such a severe neck injury, he would have been, I don't know if it would have turned out the same.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's like, yeah, it's
That's
kind of
crazy.
like what an awful accident, but at the same time, kind of lucky you were with the people you were with.
Yep. Yeah, because anything like that, you go into action. It's Eleanor, my daughter, choked on a piece of broccoli the other day, and it was just boom, smacked her on the back as hard as I could. She puked, I cried. I mean, it was all over, but it's
yeah.
It's amazing at how quickly that some of those things just become second nature. So yep. Yeah, you just immediately kick in.
I feel like that's the right combo too. Somebody pukes, somebody cries. That's usually how it all works.
She choked hard, man. Like that was a good one. And they don't tell you as a parent, if your kid chokes, here's how to do the Heimlich. It's when. Like kids are gonna choke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was lucky when Theo choked. It was this longer, like thin piece of something. I can't even remember now. It's been so long.
Because you mortified and you fucked it.
But like, I actually, since he was strapped into the high chair and it was so long, I just kind of went into his mouth and grabbed it. Just because I was like, I think that this is going to be the quicker action versus taking off the chair, unbuckling him, and then trying to do the Heimlich. And I was completely right. He was totally fine. His gag reflex was already bringing it up. Sorry, everybody who had to listen to me say that. But I was like, well, that was kind of lucky, but I'm just waiting for it to happen again. I chop everything really small at the moment.
It'll happen again. And then they'll be fine and we'll be mortified and they'll sleep soundly at night while we worry in bed about being bad parents.
Always. Yep. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So what has been one of your most difficult cases?
Oh gosh, probably a kiddo we flew. And the reason being is because we just got there so late in this process. We chased our tail. Solid 3 hours. And I had the most incredible partner. He's actually my boss now. The most incredible partner who cued into me and kind of read my anxiety and was able to call me, and we ended up using what we call BVM to actually ventilate her because our ventilator was not doing a job. She was too sick. And I looked at my partner or pilot and I said, hey, how long do we have to Indy? And he said 51 minutes and my heart dropped. I was like, she's not going to make it 51 minutes. Sure enough, that little 18-month-old made it all the way there. And that was the most stressful time. She's good now. My golly, I creeped her hard. Just really wanted to know how she was doing. She needed ECMO, if anyone medically is listening. She was a baby we intubated. She needed ECMO. We didn't have ECMO. We were in Billy Bob's ER and Chicken Stand ER, and we just had to go.
Oh my goodness.
But she's doing well now. There are tough cases and there's ones that bother you, but I think the hardest thing is if you know you did something right or if you missed something.
That always makes
maybe we
difference.
missed this. Yeah. But like I said, you have a partner, so you can talk all this through. We still talk about that case because it's still probably the roughest case for both of us that we've had.
I bet.
But yeah, we can. But then we can also talk about the ones where it was cool as heck. I mean, do you remember pulling that guy out of a car? Yep, sure do.
There you go. That leads into a perfect thing. So was that your coolest case or easiest case, whatever word you want to use?
Oh gosh. No, I'm trying to think. Coolest case. This is gonna sound kind of silly. There was a big old house fire, and it was to the point where we had to take a gator in. And so helicopter landed. I'm from Illinois. So if any city folk, this is like country bumpkin, miles between roads. We land in the middle of this country road. And this firefighter standing there with like a side-by-side. I'm like, what do you want? Where's our patient? They go, oh, she's a mile that way down this driveway. I'm like, okay, cool. First of all, it's cold. I mean, it was like freezing that day. But I was like, well, okay, it's a fire. So I guess we're going to warm up somehow. We go to get her. She's okay. I mean, she's doing pretty well. Get her on the back. And then all of a sudden I'm trying to take care of this patient. I'm straddling her on the back of this gator going through a cornfield. I'm like, this is why I do this job. This is cool.
Okay. I don't know if I'm just super weird, but when you said gator, I was like, you were riding an alligator? Like, I don't know why.
Side by side? Like Lyle crocodile style.
Yeah. I was like, what? Like that was at first. And then I was like, no. Like by like the second time you said gator, I'm like, I got it now.
Yep. Side by side.
Why did I think alligator, you crazy person?
I think we just call them gators. They're like the universal chapstick down here. We just call them gator.
Yeah. Yep. Even in the military, that's when they use them. That's pretty much what they call them. So it's just easier, just instead of having to say anything long, just get in the gator.
Exactly.
It's because I'm in the burbs and I'm never on a gator. And nobody is ever talking about a gator. So I'm like, alligator. Which
That's
would be also hilarious. That would be a really cool case. I had to. Here's your burn patient
on top of an alligator.
Yep. Here you go. Have fun.
That would be very awkward. Very awkward.
Luck. That'd be its own podcast.
Yeah.
Oh no kidding. that yes, it would.
So I know you mentioned you were able to get an update on an 18-month-old. Is that like that would be the hardest thing for me, like not knowing, like you drop these people off, they're in critical condition, and then like not knowing what happened to them. Like, do you normally get to know, or are you're just SOL?
If you really want to know, you can find the appropriate channels where you're not busting HIPAA or anything like that to find out. I'll be honest, a lot of the patients we drop off, I'd say 80%, they're either good or they're not good.
Okay.
And it's a very clear distinction of we did everything we could. This was going to come out the way it was anyway. We do scan the obituaries to kind of see if they did die. The couple that do bother us, we can have a medical director follow up. We can follow up with the hospital. But there are cases where you watch them pretty closely. And the hospital we took that patient to was awesome. They were like, yeah, we know you flew him in. We did all the right paperwork. We're like, we need the family we knew at that point. We'd spent 3 hours with them trying to get her at least to the point we could at least put her in a helicopter. So they, of course, gave us permission. And
oh, okay. That's awesome that they gave you permission. Yeah, I'm such a, I don't know, I guess nosy or just like, I have to see things to completion. So like not knowing would be like, it would drive me crazy.
Yeah, most of them we don't know.
So you suffered from severe neck pain. What happened and why did it take so long to figure out what was happening?
Here is the dumpster fire of what is my neck. So
okay.
It's a true dumpster fire. It's slowly starting to die. When I had neck pain, my neck just always bothered me. I'm married to a chiropractor. Okay. He adjusts my neck. He fixed it multiple times. And then I had my son. And all hell broke loose. Horrible neck pain. I mean, I didn't even care that I just pushed a baby out of my butt. My neck hurt. And I remember telling the nurses that. I'm like, I don't care. My neck hurts. So went home, went to urgent care. They're like, yeah, you got an epidural because yes, please. And they're like, it's just added pressure. Yeah, amen.
Not me.
Gosh, nope. I did a solid 20 minutes if I can do this. Then I get a big middle finger. I said, nope. Give it to me.
That was me too.
So ended up urgent care visits on mass amounts of steroids just because that was the only time I felt better. Finally, it was to the point that my husband, first of all, carried us through this whole thing. Absolutely incredible. Brooks would cry. I couldn't breastfeed because I was on so many meds at this point. He would carry me into the shower to try to get hot water on my neck long enough for me to be able to move to help feed Brooks. Eventually, he was sick of it. Jonathan was like, we're going to the ER. I'm like, cool. Don't even care. Got to the ER. It was one of the doctors that knows me. And my blood pressure was sky high. My pulse was sky high. He goes, this isn't normal. I'm like, well, they're telling me to do physical therapy for 6 weeks before I get an MRI. They said, screw that. We're getting an MRI. I'm like, yay.
Yay,
thanks,
hallelujah.
Found out I had a massive tumor in my spinal cord. So that was exciting.
Oh my God.
I get transferred to a bigger hospital and they're like, okay, we're doing surgery. I'm like, cool. And they said, we're going to COVID test you first. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be positive because I haven't been able to smell for weeks.
Oh no.
Sure enough, they're like, yeah, you have COVID, go home. I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks, guys. Went back a couple weeks later. They're like, okay, you're COVID cleared, whatever. Had the tumor removed. Guys, the worst part of this whole thing is I grew a freaking mustache. I was on so much steroids at this time. I grew a mustache and my husband didn't tell me about it.
What?
Oh, how sweet.
We are still at odds about this. Fast forward. So I lose baby weight. I get back into the gym. Like I finally get my life back. And then I get knocked up again because apparently I like my husband.
And apparently he likes your mustache.
Yeah, right. I was so pissed at him. Get knocked up again. Don't give a what about what I'm eating. Put on 70 pounds. My neck hurts. I'm like, yeah, well, I got big old boobies I'm not used to. I got a big old belly again. I'm like, let's just have a baby. So have the baby. We're doing maternity pictures. And I'm like, damn, my neck looks funky. I'm like, I have no neck. And my neck was hurting. My neck was really hurting. And my husband's like, fine, we'll take an x-ray. It was totally bent the wrong way.
What?
So like, if it was supposed to go left, it was going right. So got an MRI, took it to the hospital where I'm close to, and they said, screw you, go to Barnes, which Barnes is the biggest hospital in St. Louis. Made a doctor's appointment. By this point, I can't feel my hands. My hands are completely dead. My spinal cord's partially dead. So I'm like trying to take care of a newborn with like changing diapers with my teeth and all this stupid stuff.
And guys, she's absolutely not exaggerating because I saw the x-ray on Facebook. So she's not fucking exaggerating. For anybody that's like, she's full of shit. Nope, I saw it.
My spinal cord was actively dying. So the neurosurgeon came in who did my first surgery and he said, you're going into surgery later. Like 2 days later, I went into surgery. So I am 6 weeks postpartum. I still have a belly and all this other stuff. Like, okay, I'm going to surgery. Cool. And I was in the hospital for 7 days because I think I stroked, but then I got better. I don't remember. Fentanyl is great drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Came home and we're starting this whole rigmarole again. My mom, God bless her, has stayed with me a total of 6 months because I could not
that's
lift.
so sweet.
Yeah. I could not lift anything for 3 months after each surgery. So my mom came and stayed.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but this second time she didn't stay as long, probably because I had a toddler also and a newborn. But now I have a titanium spine, quite literally. And it's
so
getting
did they
better.
say what caused it? How you got the neck that went the wrong way?
So when they took out the tumor, I think they cut through a lot of the muscle. And I'm stubborn and didn't go to physical therapy and went right back to work, which is wearing a helmet and night vision goggles and bending over patients and being stupid.
Oh my God, my husband would love you.
Yeah. So my spinal cord essentially collapsed.
My husband would want to talk to you. He just got night vision and he thinks it's the coolest thing ever. And he wears it around the house. And I'm like, how did I end up married to you? The person walking around with a big helmet and night vision?
Yep.
What happened here?
Yep.
I mean, that's Kyle all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. But yep, I just, it's me. I was just stubborn, got back in a helicopter and off we went.
So what section, how many is?
I am C2. So one below the skull to T2. So I am pretty much skull to mid back. So I walk around like a robot all the time. Just walk around like a robot.
Wow, I didn't realize they fused you that far. Holy cow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm titaniumed. And they said if I don't behave, I'll be skull to T4. If I don't, calm down, which is why I'm only flying part-time.
So now
I can only handle this and 2 kids part-time. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then I'm like, what do you want me to do? Not pick up my kids? First of all, my daughter's a tank and my toddler's a toddler.
Right. And they don't know.
No, they don't know.
So now here's the real question. Do you finally feel better? Does your neck feel better?
I do. I still can't feel my hands. They're pretty worthless. They're straight up Mr. Deeds, but I have learned to do skills again. I've gotten my strength back. I am lifting again. Holy moly cannoli. I am lifting weights for the first time in years.
Wow.
Which feels amazing. Except for when I couldn't walk up the stairs today. That wasn't my proudest moment, but
why couldn't you walk up the stairs?
Oh, I went. So we have a tonal, which I love. And I decided to be dumb and go from beginner to intermediate. And the first day was legs day. Now I was so shaky. I was like, I can't do it.
Just crawling up the stairs like Bambi. It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. With Eleanor on my hip. I'm like, well, kid, we're going to figure this one out together.
That's so funny.
So you don't have like feeling at all, like in your hands?
Barely.
It reminds me of Mitch. Because my brother who had the spinal cord injury was a C7 and he's technically quadriplegic. But he doesn't he has feelings in his hands, but he has like phantom. I don't even remember what did they call it, Rietta, where it's like it kind of feels like staticky, like there's not true feeling in his arms, but he's lucky that he has use of his hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, and I can move them. I did lose motor for a while. I was very contracted. I just can't really feel them. But like I've said, I've learned typing. Learning how to type again was a nightmare. And the fact that autocorrect does not exist on Microsoft Word is crap.
Wow, yeah, typing and not being able to feel it, that's got to be really trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on like the wrong spot of the keyboard.
Oh my gosh. And you can't be like, wait, that feels wrong. Because like I normally know that I'm on the wrong side of this keyboard because of my hand position feels wrong.
Yeah. Honestly, the hardest thing was like when I'm driving and I'm trying to dig in my purse for something, I can't just dig because I can't feel.
Oh my god!
Wait, I gotta look. So
damn it! I always love the mid-drive purse dig. How you can't survive without that.
Like, where's my chapstick? Oh no, I gotta look for it.
That's what I'm always looking for too, is my chapstick. That's why I got
Or my
chapstick
kid ate it.
everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I got some in here somewhere. I grabbed 2 just in case.
Always gotta have chapstick.
Yeah, that is the dumpster fire of what is my neck. But like I said, it is a slowly dying dumpster fire, and it better stay that way.
Well, you have to make sure it
hope
stays
so.
that way, Missy. No getting
Yeah.
your skull to T whatever. That's a lot of titanium.
And no more
totally
skipping.
robotic.
No more skipping physical therapy, Miss Thing.
Yeah, no, I went. Everyone was very adamant about me and my physical therapy.
Oh my
I
God,
went.
I bet.
Yeah,
Actually,
you got
my
to.
family thought I was not my family, my mother-in-law thought I was crazy for going to physical therapy after getting birth. She was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's not normal to like pee a little bit when bending down because
No.
I've had a baby. I'm going to physical therapy. I'm not living like this.
No.
Goodbye, the end." And she's like, "Just do Kegels." I was like, "That's nice. I'm going to physical therapy. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
My insurance covers it. See ya."
Yeah, my old boss.
And they're
that
just
was
gonna pay
her.
for it.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, my old boss, that was her specialty, was pelvic floor physical therapy. So it's actually very common. Very common. But since we touched on body issues, because we all, us ladies, especially when we go through birth and getting older and all the things,
Yep.
and Jess and I have talked about this before, because her and I have conversed numerous times about what we shouldn't eat and what we should eat and all these crazy things. So take us on your last journey, because I remember seeing your post and you were super excited. You're like, I finally figured this out. Hallelujah.
Yes. My son's in the window being crazy.
I love it.
Kids, man, they're crazy. My husband's a rock star. So after Brooke, so after I had my son, I went on what I call the starvation diet and the motherhood diet of I don't have time and I don't have the capacity to make any more decisions today about what I'm going to eat. So I'm just not going to eat until I'm absolutely starving, and then I'm going to eat whatever I want. So I got skinny, like unattractively skinny, but I was very proud of myself. And then I got knocked up again. Again, I like my husband. And
clearly he likes you.
And thank God. And then I ate whatever the heck I wanted because I was pregnant. And I packed on the pounds. Like I had some nice boobs, guys. Like I packed on the pounds, but I had some nice pregnancy boobies. And then I had her and the eating just didn't stop. So tried like the shakes and I was like, I don't have time for this crap. Finally, I found a nutritionist, and she's not a nutritionist. She's a macro coach. So she pretty much said, you're not eating enough. You're a nurse. You know better. And that's what I loved about her is she was very blunt. She goes, you're not stupid. She goes, you know exactly what you're doing wrong. I was eating maybe 400 calories a day, maybe.
Girlfriend.
And I know I wasn't breastfeeding because again, I'm hopped up on oxys from yet another surgery. And and I wasn't losing any more weight. I was completely stuck.
Bad
and she
girl.
goes, okay, let's do macros. I know. So she's like, you're going to eat 1,600 calories a day. I'm like, I'm going to eat what? I was like, I don't eat that in a week, lady. Listen here, Linda. I'm going to gain like 100 pounds. No, literally started losing weight almost immediately, was eating great food, like food I would never, ever let myself eat. And I had no mobility. All of the results were from me pretty much being on bed rest. Still, I could walk. That's about it. Like no weightlifting, none of that. So it was just learning that use my own brain.
Yeah.
I know what's good for me. I know what I needed to do. I just didn't want to do it. And there are days where it's like, I just don't want to eat anything because I'm lazy and I just don't want to prep, or I don't have time and I'm just going to eat chicken nuggets off my kid's plate. But it's just for the better. And I'm in a maintenance phase now, which is super nice. So like Monday to Saturday, I track very carefully MyFitnessPal, what I eat. I meet my goals. Sunday is my like mindfulness day. So I focus on protein and I just kind of go with the flow. And so far it's been really successful.
Yeah, that's definitely not enough. From what they taught me in college, and things may have changed, but you never know. The body needs 1,200 calories just to sustain life. So you weren't even sustaining life, my friend.
No. And then I wondered why I couldn't breastfeed.
Oh, hello.
Hi, little man. You're so cute.
Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Go fly. Go hang out with Daddy. I'll be right there.
We're almost
promise.
done. Promise.
I'll be right there. We're almost done. I promise. I'll be right back.
Well, he's adorable.
Yes, he is.
Now you think.
I understand that, everyone, because my child has like red hair, and now everybody just stops and is like, oh my god, it's so cute, the red hair. And I'm like, yep, it is cute. But have you seen him go WWE wrestler to his toys? No, he goes crazy and he's won. It's not necessarily cute, and nobody told me how gross babies were going to be. Because he
so
spits
gross.
up. Yeah, I'm like, they're so gross. I'm like, no one told me there's going to be this much spit up and or just stuff on his hands that I don't even know how he got said stuff on his hands.
Wait until you start potty training, and it's pee everywhere. It's just pee everywhere.
I was really hoping that this was going to be a Tom thing, because he's a boy. And that sounds like the father's responsibility, but I know it's going to end up being mine.
See, I was more mad. Not only was I not told that kids are gross, but that postpartum is fucking gross. There's blood and stitches and pain. Nobody talks about that shit. Why does nobody talk about that shit?
I don't know. There needs to be like the truths of motherhood. Like, yeah, they're cute, but you're miserable. And you don't remember it anyway. Because your brain blocks it all out. Because you're exhausted.
Exactly.
Yep. I can't tell you how many women I have had that come to Jesus weaning with like first time moms. Like they finally just break. They're like, this is horrible. I'm not sleeping. I'm tired. I'm like, girl, welcome to motherhood. And here's the truth. It sucks. And sometimes, and you still love the little petri dishes that bring home all the germs and the cuteness, and they still cuddle. And you love them. And the next minute cuddling. You want to sell them on eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So on that note, what can you leave our listeners with, whether it be whatever advice you want to leave them with, or any positive juju you want to leave them with, whatever you feel?
You have to do what makes you happy in this life. You cannot fulfill other people's lives, especially children and spouses and family members, if you yourself are not happy. If it's healthy, if it brings something to your life that, I almost sound like that the room lady, I can't think of her. If it brings you joy, literally do it. Yeah. And I think so many people say, well, I don't have time. I can't do it. It's expensive. I can't do this. Just do it. Even if it's small. I want to go fly in freaking helicopters. I go fly in freaking helicopters. Yes, I'm away from my family for 24 hours at a time. Yes, my husband's not thrilled with me flying in helicopters sometimes. But that's what makes me happy. And then I can pour that happiness into other people. So like, that's kind of my tidbit, is make yourself happy first.
Love it. I'm all about it.
I just heard my son go from upstairs, so it was very adorable. I don't know if you can hear it.
Nope.
Good, but it's great. I love it.
My kid just overtook the podcast.
That's fine.
It's great.
They're fed. That's all that matters. It is mother. We could have a whole nother podcast about motherhood, guys. Let's get real.
Oh yeah, we actually have a friend who does, basically.
Yeah, actually,
it has to be.
You should go talk to her, because she's, I mean, if you wanted to, she's fantastic. But
yeah, she is.
Oh, I'll give you. I hide absolutely zero when it comes to motherhood. So many people hide behind a filter when it comes to being a mom, and it drives me freaking crazy. Like, yeah, you love them. So what? Doesn't mean you don't want to sell them. Doesn't mean you put them to bed.
That doesn't mean that you don't need time to yourself or things that make you happy. You can love a little person, but that doesn't mean your life is then over. I was literally having this talk with my friend as we went to go make soap and went out for dinner while my son was with his dad.
Yep.
Because I need me time.
Nope. I remember for Mother's Day, my husband's like, what do you want for Mother's Day? I want you to go away. I was like,
Leave
I want to
the dog alone.
sit on the couch and eat Cheetos out of my belly button and watch raunchy TV for 2 hours without wiping boogers or a butt. That's all I
Yep.
want.
That's all
I'm
I
a very
want.
simple person. And then I
I
tell
feel like
myself they're going to get older and I'm going to miss these days. But right now I don't. But I love
I
them.
feel like most moms, that's all they want. Like, not even a certain, just give me an hour to take a bath or go to Target or read a book or just something in silence.
Say what, men,
Yes.
if any men listening to this podcast, if you have a wife, if you have kids, all your wife wants is a one-night stay in a Holiday Inn or a Hilton Garden Inn with dinner, TV, and a
And that's
phone
it.
charger.
Oh
That's
yeah,
all we
definitely.
need. That
Yep,
is,
that's
I
all we
mean,
need.
that's like
That-
$150.
And
No
that's been
jewelry.
very popular on like Instagram and stuff. When it was Mother's Day, that's all I saw. Was like, let me go to a hotel room and be by myself.
Yes, I'm going to
Yep.
put blackout curtains on. I'm going to put Archer on the TV. I'm going to eat pizza and ice cream naked, then take a shower, and then eat another meal.
I'm
Sounds
also going to
beautiful.
cry because it's the last season of Archer, and I know you will cry with me.
Oh, I will sob. Don't get me started.
God, that show's been on for forever.
It doesn't matter.
love
It
it.
can't end.
That's all I listened to when I was deployed. That's all I listened to was Archer. I still have it memorized. Sad thing is, this is my first time. Like, I actually sit down and watch it. I'm like, I never know. That's hilarious, but I never noticed it before because I've always just listened.
Oh, that's funny.
I love it. Oh.
I appreciate you guys.
And we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. And
Thank you
also,
for
just
getting me away.
just
Yeah,
a thought,
anytime.
a book of like cool nurse flight stories. I mean, you should think about it. It's a great
concur.
idea. You're
I
welcome.
concur.
Oh, gosh, that I write?
Yes.
What part of Hands McFreaky over here do you understand about not typing?
Hey, you can dictate. They have dictation.
That is going to require a lot of curse word over. Like, I would send that to an editor and
Yeah.
they'd be like, no. Your book is going to come with the same censored label that Eminem's Real Slim Shady had.
That's fine. That's even
That should be your
better.
marketing line right there.
Even
Yeah.
better.
Nursing with the Real Slim Shady.
Love
Oh
it.
my God.
Please
Perfect.
sit down.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank
And
you
with
guys
that-
so much.
And with that, we're going to leave you with this is how to deal with shit gets real. And we'll see y'all next episode.